Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. It's been a long journey, no pun intended, but it seems sort of, it seems like a good idea to land here at the California Science Center. Part science, part fiction, part some of the more important ingredients in our human psyche, like love, loss, loneliness, and self-reflection. Things we all live with once in a while, right? We can all be on this journey together with these guys. There is some people here that worked with the film, and I just want to point out a couple of those, and we all respect to all that. But we have one of the writers here, Scott Adams. Scott. And we have the film's production designer, Barry Shusik, somewhere. And we have the film's director of photography here, Actually, can I say, he used to be Swedish like me, but he got his American citizenship nowadays. So we can keep him. And last but not least, I wanna mention my comrade and friend for almost 20 years now, Richard Saperstein, the producer. And we that are also here that were part of the making of this film, of course. I also want to thank you guys for showing up tonight. You always have this fear as a director that nobody's going to show up. You did. You did. Thank you for that, and enjoy the film. Thank you very much.
How are you doing tonight?
Very good, thank you. It's a great screen. It's great to see the film. Once in a while on a screen like this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is a thing. We're standing over here because we were warned we're not allowed to go to the middle. Apparently someone has fallen, and we don't want that to happen. So we tried it. So I know this is a lot of people here. This might be their first time that they've seen one of your films. If they haven't seen anything else you've done, what would you like them to watch first and why?
I made a lot of films, but there is one film that is so that we have talked. I started out talking about this film myself. This is cousin to another film I made some years ago called 14 Away, the Stephen King adaptation about that one, yeah. About a guy played by John Cusack in a hotel room. Yeah, and it's also a film that deals with a very tight space, and in that case, just John Cusack in a hotel room. In this case, this guy's in a spaceship. And it's also a film. 48 is also in the backbone of 48 is a love story, I think. And I always felt when I read this script the first time, it was very much a love story, and putting it on a spaceship, you can push these feelings and this the anxieties and the dilemma to its breaking point in a different way. But for me, it was always these very fundamental issues that John goes through. You don't need to have to be in a spaceship to be in this situation, feeling lonely or being loved or be left or feel lost and all that. So all of those things made it an exciting project.
So I like asking this as a director, and I get to talk to them. What do you think? Everyone here in the room is a fan of movies. What do you think would surprise them to learn about being a director?
You go up very early in the morning and you go to bed very late in the evening, and you try to just get the day done. It's very rewarding job, obviously. in the sense that you have to throw yourself into, you have to gather a lot of knowledge about things that you didn't know anything about before you started. In this case, space travel, which I have limited knowledge about, and then you meet NASA engineers, NASA psychologists, people who knows a lot about that, and you gather all this knowledge, you share it with the actors do their homework and so on, and that process is always amazing. Obviously, when it comes down to it, you got to tell a story, about certain things, but the fundament has to be there.
Let's talk a little bit about what was it about this material that said, I need to make this?
Yeah, as I said, it had a lot of ingredients that I liked. I like the challenge of doing something in such a small area, on such a small stage. And it was very much written as a play, if you would, and it was all about character, and the most of the action is with the characters and in the characters' head, and we were very lucky to get such an amazing ensemble here, obviously, because that's what we needed, and that's what the film needed, to have characters of this caliber to deliver and really give the characters all the depth and layers that they needed.
So you know what the shooting schedule is. What day did you have circled in terms of I cannot wait to film this? And what day did you have circled in terms of how the F are we going to film this?
Well, every time somebody calls you up and say, hey, I think we can make a movie here, you get very happy, obviously. Because 90% of my time, it's not making movies, 90% of my time is trying to make movies. So when that happens, it's great. I mean, I had this script for a few years together with producer Richard Hafstrom, and we did other things in between, but the script was always there, and we really liked it. So sometimes you read scripts, and the next couple of months later, you feel like, no, I don't want to return to that. But this was around for a couple of years, and Richard called me and said we have the possibility to do that in Hungary, together with our Hungarian friends there, from the producers. So we did that. It's shot on stage in Budapest, and everything else also in Hungary.
Well, I'm curious though, what shot or sequence in the film ended up being the most challenging, whether it be from a camera move with dialogue, or whatever the reason?
I think Carl, our eminent director of photography, can sign on to that. It was challenging because we have to construct the ship. Very choosy the production standard that sort of made sense. It felt fun, but we needed actors in there, we needed light, we needed a photographer, we needed myself, and so on and so on. So it was challenging to create an area where we could do all these things. Sometimes, if you have actors like this, you can do a lot every day. Car chases takes a long time. I think shooting Slingshot was, and I felt it had to be intense. We had to do a lot every day because the actors, they lack that. They lack tempo, and not, I don't like doing 100 takes anyway. So, and these actors deliver great stuff.
Well, oftentimes with film, you shoot the whole thing out of order, and sometimes some directors like shooting in order as much as they can. For something like this, were you able to shoot at all in order? How did the shoot sort of lay out for the actors?
I think this film, that's a good question, but this film, more than ever, I had the possibility to shoot in story order, because we started out in Budapest, we shot everything that was not in the ship first, all the scenes with John and Zoe, and Vision and Casey Affleck. We did all of that first while they were building the ship on stage. And then we went into the ship and we shot everything in the ship. And because we did that, we could shoot very much in story order, the whole film. with few exceptions. So that was a great film, great for the actors and great for Casey's performance because it's slowly falling apart. As we can see, and that process would have been difficult to jump back and forth.
So I love talking about the editing process because it's ultimately where a movie comes together. So you get in the editing room. How did this film possibly change in ways you didn't expect going in?
You want the film to change, and you have to have a great editor, which I have. Mikael Håfström is not here, he's also Swedish, by the way. A lot of Swedes in this film. But Mikael, I made many films with him, and he is the kind of writer that surprises you. He doesn't necessarily do what you thought when you shot it. He surprises you in doing things that are better than you thought. He's great at finding just the right seconds that a sequence needs to sort of lift. So that helps. It's a really important person to have involved in everything, obviously. But he had his parallel to the shoot. So after a shooting day, I go to him. I look at what we did the day before. He cut it together in a good way and see if there is something, if we have what we need, and then we go like that. When the film is shot, we sit together for a few months and work starting from the beginning.
Was there anything that changed in the editing room in ways you didn't expect?
And lots of things changes in the editing through the process. You do your first director's cut, the first cut, which is often too long, and then you start to massage it. Then you started, a small scale to show it. The producer Richard comes in and we see it, we talk, and we do adjustments and so on. More people see it, and you get ideas. So it's an ongoing process. But I think if you know where you're going, you can handle it with it. But if you have something you're happy with and you feel that it's solid, then obviously there's always room to never give up doing the best you possibly can.
So I love the ending of this movie, but it's definitely a lot of movies don't do. I'm trying to be careful, even though you all saw it. A lot of people will not do what this movie does. So I'm curious, at any point did producers or studio people or anyone say, "Hey, this is really good, but you can't do this"?
No, we didn't have any studio people. Thank God. It was just us. Small group of people that just went to Budapest to shoot the movie. So obviously we discussed this, and we had there was some different ideas during the time we sort of explored it. But it was always my feeling and our feeling, I think, that a film like this, this complex psychological drama like this, can't have a simplified ending. It can't be walking away in the sunset. It can't be. I think the audience would be. I think maybe the audience now, some of them feel like there's no conclusion, or some. I hope that the audience feel that they are part of it. You can do with this ending what you want. And I'm talking to the individual audience member. They all have different sort of ideas what happens, and how they read that, and what they take with them. But I think this film at least deserves this. If you do another type of a more conventional thriller, that needs a more conventional ending. I think this film needed something else. So that's what we decided, and that's what we did. And I hope people can take that with them.
If you could talk a little bit actually, and I'm going to drill down, but actually filming the ending, because it's really effective the way you have him in the bunker, if you will, with the moth and the light, and then also to go silent. Just talk a little bit about composing that ending.
We tried a lot of things, and we did silence and so on, and it was, we massaged that ending quite a lot, and we tried different ways of getting him out in space and so on. We had some bigger ideas, and we ended up with this more if you want, simple solution, with him sort of just disappearing into the dark, and we felt that was...
Was he just imagining that he went into the dark?
Well, if you do so, that's okay. I'm not going to take that away from you. Whatever you want. That's my point, And discuss it with your friends and see what they say. But I really don't want to put any ideas in anybody's head.
I mean, you can totally, what's cool about it is you can debate this, and you can have a strong opinion one way or the other, which is what I love.
Yeah, I think so. And I like talking to people about it, and people do want to talk about it, and some can be upset at and some feel it is a conclusion in itself, and I feel very satisfied they feel that this makes sense.
So I haven't touched on your cast, but this whole movie either rides or dies with Casey, Tomer, and Laurence. So,
and I'm going to be
100%. I think it's my fault for not mentioning it. To talk a little bit about the casting process and what it was like when all these people said yes.
Casting can be long and winding road, and in this case, me and Richard understood that we could actually do this. We send the script to some agents that we like, that have good clients that we like, and as it happened, Casey read the script quite quickly, and he called me and said, I didn't know Casey, I hadn't never met him before or worked with him, but he called me up and said, I read the script, and I really, this is something that really interests, something that really, we had some conversations, and then he was involved. The same thing with Laurence Fishburne, he read it and called us and said, can I be in this movie? And we said, yeah, yes, Laurence, you can be in this movie. Tomer, I needed to find the third guy, and obviously Tomer, especially at the time, much less famous than the other two, but I saw some stuff that he's done. He's an Israeli actor. He did Fowler in Israel and other things, and he's in The Boys in America, and now he's probably more famous than he was when we shot again. But I remember seeing him, and he really blew my mind in the way that he talked about this character, this story, his way into it, and all that. So I realized that this is our man. And he came in and he really took his place between his more established other two established actors. So they became a really, really good trio together. Emily I worked with. This is the first film I do with Emily Bisham, English actor that I really, really love. So I'm happy every time I can work with her.
You touched on Par. I want to make sure I say his name right, but Par and McCurk.
Yeah, he's American, so he probably say Par.
I apologize if I said your name wrong. I do this shit all the time, and I'm very sorry. But talk a little bit about your collaboration and how you guys figured out the look of the film and the colors. What the two of you talked about.
Yeah, it's also a conversation. In this case, it's very much a conversation with Barry Hughes. It's Barry here. Barry's done. With Barry, who designed the ship. I worked with Barry some years ago. We did a film together called Escape Plan about a prison break, also secluded area. But I called up Barry and said, I need help to design this spaceship. And Barry was doing some big movie as he's often doing, but he said yes to that. And so then it was a conversation between Barry and myself and Per very much about 1 million things. But do what you said, color and lights. I mean, you see here, it's 1,000 screens, it's little lights in the floor, lights in the roof. It took a long time, and thank God. These guys were doing the best part of that job while I was sort of rehearsing and working with actors. But a lot of testing, we shot a lot of tests to see that we get exactly. We wanted to do a slick ship, not one of those with a lot of cables everywhere and chains and all that. That can be found in another kind of movie. In this one, we wanted to do something that had this if you call it that, slick and clean atmosphere to also push the loneliness and those aspects of the characters. I think very cleverly built the ship around a round corridor, which meant that you could walk around forever, but you never knew where you were because everything looked the same. And like the joke with Casey walking into we did that all the time. We never knew where we were in the ship. Again, it's a lot of practical work, testing and talking and doing and building and designing, and it's you need to have guys and girls like we have to make this film.
We're just about out of time, so I'm just curious, how long did you actually have? Can you talk about how long you had to make the film? Is it one of these where you made it in like 22 days or 45?
No, I had a little bit more, 40, 50, 45, I don't remember it, but as it is often when you do it, it takes a few years. Somebody says, we can make a movie, and you've got like everybody have to get actors, so you have to really push it, and that's the nature of it.
Isn't it, by the way, isn't it crazy? I've spoken to so many directors that say, I tried for 5 years to make this movie, and all of a sudden I was told I could go make it in 2 months, and I need to go make it right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. That's often what happens. You have actors, they have a window, and they're working. So you got to be prepared for that, and you got to jump on board when it happens. But we had decent time to shoot the film, and we had. We were not swimming around money at all, but we had what we needed to make this without any luxury, but in a good way. And so it was a fine process, and I really enjoyed it.
My last question for you. As a fan of your work, what are you working on now, or what are you hoping to make?
Well, I just did another film with American Swede up there. It's called Stockholm Bloodbath. It's a completely different film. Thank you. My fans over here. And then it's about the war between Sweden and Denmark in the 1500s. It's a big war epic with 100 horses and soldiers and God knows what. It's actually sold to the US for distribution, so you can see it's sort of about it somehow. But it's so as far as you can come from going to space. That's the fun part of the matter. But we did also in Hungary, Per and I and Richard, who was our editor. So hopefully we get going soon again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mikael Håfström.